So in the beginning of my SMMA journey, there were so many different mistakes that I made, but the biggest one I would say is focusing on C or D when I didn't even have A. Focusing on media buying, on how to hire, on how to manage clients when I didn't even have a client. And so too often, I'm sure you're experiencing this as well, you're gonna get stuck in the stage of information analysis. And it's extremely hard to get out of because people get a cheap dopamine rush when they start something new. When you start something new, you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna work, I'm gonna make money, oh, I have this huge plan. And then once you kind of get going, that dopamine kind of dissipates and you become your normal state of emotions and you're like, oh shit, this sucks, I don't wanna do this. So you change niche, you change business models, and it's an endless cycle. People just jump, just keep doing different things because it just doesn't work. And you have to stick the path to one thing, but you have to focus in the beginning of your journey on sales, money in, that's it. Nothing else. And you're not gonna know how to do everything by simply just reading about it or hearing about it or reading an article on it. The only way you're actually gonna learn about the skills that are necessary for all parts of the company, or SMMA in this case, is by actually doing them. And the only way you're actually gonna do them is by getting your first client. And then from there, it snowballs. It snowballs from getting your first sale to scheduling your first onboarding call, doing your first onboarding call, creating everything on the back end, having a kickoff call, and then launching the ads, seeing how the ads run, experiencing ad fatigue, seeing what to do from there, managing clients that are yelling at you, managing clients that are super happy and getting referrals and how to ask referrals from there. But it all starts with just money in and getting your first sale. And it's the toughest spot to be in the beginning. And I get it because I was there, as is anyone else in this space who's doing pretty well for themselves. And I was at dinner the other day and there was this funny analogy that came about, and my friend said, you can't learn how to swim by reading a book about water. And it's so true. And it's so true. It was a hysterical analogy and it was the first time I ever heard it, but it's so true. And it's the exact same thing in this case. You can't learn about what to do if you're not doing it in the moment. Like, yeah, you can watch YouTube videos, read articles, and watch recordings, and you will gain some knowledge there for when time actually comes. But the way you're actually gonna memorize it in its complete form is by doing it yourself, because the neural pathways will be created and then you just strengthen them over time, and it's just rinse and repeat. But again, it all comes back to A, and A is getting your first sale, getting your first client, and stop focusing on how to make an LLC, what your logo looks like, what your website looks like. You don't need any of that. I'm telling you right now, you don't need any of that. And I spent probably a month in information paralysis, where I didn't get anything done because I was just watching YouTube videos. And looking back now, I'm like, I'm an idiot. Like, what the hell? How did that even happen? The whole entire month. But that's because I didn't really have anyone to look up to. I was doing everything myself. And for your situation specifically, and I hope by extension this video, don't waste time on useless things. The sole focus is money in. There's not a business on earth that doesn't have money coming in. So stop focusing on B or C or D when you don't even have A. The only way you're actually gonna learn everything is by doing it. And by doing it comes from getting your first client. Now, it's hard to be aware of what information you're soaking in and how consistent it is and how much you are doing it when you don't have someone else kind of on the same path as you, or you're looking up to someone. It's hard, I get it. And especially if you're young and you're pretty unaware of what you're doing, quite honestly, you can just go down your own little rabbit hole and waste so much time. But the point is, stop wasting time on things that don't matter. Money in is what matters, and getting your first client is what matters. And focus solely around that, and everything else will fall into place. And that's the biggest lesson I would say in the beginning. Just get straight to the point and don't waste any time. All right, cool.